All right, welcome back to the 23rd episode of Making Swish, a closure for Swift. Little break for WWDC, but I'm back, and here's what well, first of all, watch this. We can now run the Jank Clojure test suite. Now, you see there's a lot of skipping, but those are just missing functions, and those will be fairly easy to do. I'll talk about that error later. So what we've done, we've got reader conditionals. We've got, now we have the Clojure Test namespace with all the macros that goes with that. We just copied the source directly from Clojure. We have the int question mark function. We've got the lazy seek question mark functions. And all these things I had to implement to just get the Clojure Test Suite to run. And now we're moving towards making it pass. I had to add source paths to Swish. So now if you type, you'll see that we now have a source path command line argument to pass in additional places for it to look for source. It'll also look in your bundle. Eventually, when you're embedding, you can pass in this paths to your bundle. It'll also look, and there's an environment variable called Swish underscore source path all uppercase that it will also look into. We've got support for BigInt and BigDecimals. We've got support for radix notation, and of course, like I said, we are able to run the Jank Clojure Test Suite, and we've added def record support with all the functions that goes with that. So let's run some of this. I have created a demo. So one thing is we've got a test example here that demonstrates testing. Whoops. And it demonstrates that we have some failing tests. And if we look at this, you'll see that it creates a namespace. It requires Clojure tests and refers in all the main functions and macros. And we have a simple test here where we're testing equals 1, and equals 1, 2, and equals 1, 2 obviously fails. And we've got it down here, we've got the code that runs the test. Let's see. We've also got a little demo here. Let's look at it. Demo 23.clj that shows off some various things. It shows off, we got reader conditionals. I've already showed Clojure Test, so we're not going to do that. It shows off the int function, the lazy seek functions. I'm not going to demo source paths. Got the BigInt and BigDecimal and radix notation, and records. So let's just run that thing for now. And you can see that those are all working. Of course, I still need to show BigInt, BigDecimal, and radix notation. For that, I'm just going to run the tests. And you can see that they're all passing in 1.5 seconds. We've got 2,058 tests right now. And I'm just going to show the code for those tests, the big number tests. Here we've got some BigInt, the BigInt function. We've got decimal functions. There's a big number with the M notation. A big decimal. And then we got a 1N for the big integer notation. Let's see, we've got more functions. We've got addition of these big integers. Division. Subtraction, multiplication, equality checks, comparison checks, and here we got radix notation. So base 2, base 16, base octal, base 36, etc. So we've got all that working now. Going forward, we're going to continue to try to get to pass the Jank Clojure Test suite. And the next thing in line to fix that, so that we do pass the test, is we need to update our reader to support UUID literals and date literals with the pound inst. And we're also going to need multi-methods. Beyond that, I don't know what else, other than what you saw, all those missing functions. But those are two different things we're going to have to do. Let's look at a roadmap, see where we are. We can embed a runtime at this point, but I haven't shown it. At some point I will show that. Eventually we want to get to a bytecode interpreter and also compile the Swift. So where are we? We finished tier 1. We finished tier 2. A note on tier 1. We have atoms, but we don't have compare and swap functionality. I want to do that at some point. Maybe we'll have to do that to pass the Jank Clojure Test suite. We've got tier 2. We don't have a source function. And I'm not sure I'm going to do that, but it's possible. Let me know if you want it. We kind of have an embedding API if you look at the code for the REPL. That's basically it, but maybe we'll probably expand on that for actually really embedding in the in an app. There's also maybe having interop with Objective-C, as well as Swift. Objective-C, you can do it dynamically at runtime, much like you do Clojure does with Java, but with Swift you have to pre-register everything. But that is something that we can look into and do. So we're at tier 3, but first we got to run the Clojure Test suite and get that working. So we're just before tier 3, let's say that. So yeah, that's it. Again, like and subscribe. Please comment. Let me know what you think of what I'm doing. If you want to see different things, how I do things, you want me to go back to prompting and show the prompts I'm doing. Yeah, and buy me a coffee. The link's in the below. And if you're interested in hiring me, I'm available. Talk to you later.